this is Lasatar, and this is my analysis video for the recently revealed King K. Rool and Simon Belmont, and I guess Richter as well, since he is an echo fighter of Simon. I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable about Smash, but I'm going to grab whatever I can from these and see if I can infer how good the characters will be, what they can do, their zoning tools. Well, yeah, both of them do appear to have zoning tools. Not really sure why I specifically said that, but regardless, let's get into it. Let me first... Actually, I'll turn the volume down and should probably be talking more about the actual content. So, first up, this appears to be his forward smash, and as we can see here, it has some obscenely long range. It actually has even longer range than you'd think, because Corrin is getting hit from it here, even though the tip doesn't actually appear to reach him, meaning easily the longest range forward smash in the game, and we don't know exactly how powerful it is, but it seems like it'll be pretty powerful, and so that could be a very powerful kill move. And here's his, what I assume is his neutral special, the axe. It's fairly quick, it travels in an arc, doesn't appear to stop for anything, so it might be hard to cancel out. It might end up cancelling out other projectiles that hit it, so it could be good for defending yourself. And this is his down air. It causes him to bounce, and as it appears, it follows up into forward air, which also has some incredibly long reach, just like his forward smash. He seems to have just long reach in general, and his down special is the Holy Water, which is like Din's Fire, I guess, but like it doesn't need to hit the opponent to create the column of flame. It just creates it. Could be good for zoning. Could be good for approaching. Puts a bit of pressure on the enemy. Stops them from being able to approach very easily. And this is interesting because I actually think that this will be his jab. And the reason I think this, because all of his other special slots have been taken, and now it seems that you can hold down the attack button and move it in any direction, like even swing it around, and it will cancel out other projectiles, meaning that it might not be the fastest of attacks, but it could be useful for getting opponents off you if you can kind of read their movements ahead of time. Simon definitely is not a very fast character. He's going to be sluggish, and he probably won't beat out anybody if they attack first, or even if they attack at the same time. The other opponent will likely be getting the hit in. Unless he's fighting Shulk, then Simon's still going to probably win, because everybody knows how crap Shulk's frame data is. And here's his grab, and that's probably a down throw. It launches at a angle, very typical of down throws, it seems, to launch slightly forwards, mostly upwards. Probably could be used to follow into forward air, or maybe a dash up smash. So it might be good for getting kills. We'll have to wait and see, because we still don't know how strong any of his moves are. And here's his side special. It's sort of like Link's Boomerang, I guess. Seems like it will serve the same applications as Link's Boomerang, but with the exception Link's Boomerang doesn't pass through opponents unless you use that custom special. Well, it will pass through on the way back, but it doesn't pass through on the way forward. So Simon's one is more, well, it's always going to do the same thing regardless of whether it hits him or not. So that's interesting. And we can see a bit of his stage and his final smash. Not really interested in his final smash. Now, let's go ahead to when Richter is showing off his moves. This appears to be a dash attack. We can see later on in the direct that Simon uses this same dash attack. It appears to have quite a lot of active frames and not much ending lag really. So it could be a pretty useful dash attack, but it does seem to have the least range of any of his attacks. And it's using Holy Water here, and that was a taunt. Now this is interesting. This appears to actually be his down tilt. Sort of like Cloud, and that slides along the ground. It can pass underneath projectiles. And when it hits, he follows up with this jump attack, which sends them flying. And I'm not quite sure about this, but I think that the slide itself might have a little bit more range than Cloud's down tilt. So it could be quite useful for approaching, closing distance, getting attacks in. And that appears to be another taunt. And here's Alucard as an assist trophy. And there we can see the up special, the uppercut. You can very clearly see the hitbox from this freeze frame. We can see that the cross is over here, meaning that he is able to perform actions while the cross is out, which is, I'm not surprised, but it's good to know. But as for the uppercut, this appears to be, yeah, here is about the highest it reaches. So if he was from here, then he could probably grab a ledge around about here, perhaps. Not quite sure, but it does not seem like it'll be the best recovery. I do not know if it puts him into special fall, though. He was... because taking a look at his actual trailer, Simon's trailer, we can see him using the Holy Water. And another thing, it seems that Richter has a different kind of Holy Water to Simon. It seems that Richter's Holy Water is blue. I'm not sure how different it's going to be, but or if it's just going to be an aesthetic difference. But that might be something to note, since they will have some differences. Just we don't know what they're going to be yet. Now, that was him using his forward air, which is something very interesting. Let me see if I can rewind it there. He can actually angle his forward air downwards, which is pretty insane. He can also angle it upwards, as we can see in a different part. I think it was in the actual trailer, or maybe it was in this one. Can't remember which one, but he can angle his forward air up and down. I don't know if he can angle his smash attacks up or down, but I'd wager that he probably can, meaning that combos are probably going to be a little easier than you'd probably think with him, especially with his range. Like somebody like Luigi who can angle his forward smash, it's not really going to do much other than change the knockback angle because of how pitifully short it is. Like somebody like Shulk is a bit better because of the longer range, but Simon just is where it would really shine because of just how long his attacks reach. Yeah, and there he uses the forward air, which is angled upwards. Now we can see here that it kills the ice climbers, so it might be a good kill move. And then he uses a back air and tethers onto the ledge. So, well, it might not be a back air, but we've already seen his grab, and he didn't use his whip to tether, so it seems like his aerials are going to tether the ledge, which is really interesting, if you ask me. He might not have a bad recovery after all, especially if his uppercut does not send him into special fall, because then he could use an uppercut and then a forward air and just tether the ledge from a fair way away. It wouldn't be the best recovery, but at least it wouldn't leave him helpless. Again, here he's using the down tilt. Okay, so I made a mistake when I talked about Richter. The down tilt does not appear to follow up. If it hits, it just does that follow up regardless. So that means that the down tilt has a considerable amount of range to it. So he started around here, and then he hit Robin, who was all the way over here. You might have to press the button again to do the follow-up. But this is going to be really useful to punish projectiles, since it seems to just slide underneath them. Okay, and yeah, this is almost certainly his jab. You just hold the button, you can direct it. It might end up being pretty good for edge guarding, I'm not sure, but his smash attacks seem like they'd be better for edge guarding. We've yet to see what his forward and up tilts are though. And here's his final smash. So Simon definitely seems like he'll be a very good character, possibly even top tier, possibly even top 10. Because he just has a lot of stuff. He has 3 different projectiles, each of which has a different purpose. He has very long reach on his attacks. He has a good chunk of power. His recovery doesn't suck. It's not the best recovery, but it doesn't suck like some other recoveries. Yeah, he has a good amount of kill power. I think I already said that. And it seems like he'll be able to combo relatively easily. He might have a few kill setups with his grabs from his down throw. And we haven't seen it here. It's in the original direct where they show a few more of his attacks. That appears to be more of a forward tilt than... That is his forward air, but this appears to be a forward tilt. I'm not sure if his forward tilt and his forward smash are the same, but his forward tilt might just be a faster but weaker version of his forward smash. I don't know if you can aim his tilts or not.
But I think its average reach during normal attacks is longer than any other fighters.
And there we can see his up air, which is honestly a very useful up air. It is going to be very useful to juggle opponents because of just how far it reaches. Even if they do although directional mid-air dodges are a thing in this game, so they might be able to mid-air dodge to the right or the left and not have to get hit by it. Although, if he can angle his up air to the left or the right like he can with his forward air, then he might be able to read an air dodge and punish it with his up air.
He can move the whip freely.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. It seems that it would definitely be... And that is his down air. It knocks him into the air, sort of like bouncing fish, but like more at a vertical angle. And then he can follow up with an aerial. It also knocks the opponent into the air.
The axe.
And here's what I said about the axe. It keeps going even if it hits something.
Cross.
And so does the cross.
Holy water.
You know, the holy water, it actually passed through Captain Falcon, meaning that the holy water might do that as well. He might be a very, static character, you don't need to worry about RNG at all. You don't need to worry about really what your opponent... Well, of course you're going to need to worry about what your opponent's doing, but you don't really need to worry about them messing up what you're going to do with your projectile, unless they have a reflector, I guess. Not sure what's going to happen with that.
And uppercut.
And his uppercut seems relatively fast. It's probably a similar application to Marth's... can't remember what Marth's up special is called. Dolphin Slash. Seems like it'll be like a similar hitbox shape to Dolphin Slash, but more with a more multi-hit purpose of Super Jump Punch for Mario.
They seem simple, they are very powerful. And his final smash is
And
called
yes, we have Grand Cross. Let's just see if Richter has anything else shown in the actual
Direct Descendant.
direct.
Wields like he's very quite challenging. The Vampire Hunter.
Yes, we can see his down air there.
Castlevania Rondo of Blood.
That was a taunt.
Richter Belmont joins the battle.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is a forward tilt or the forward smash, but regardless, it does have a lot of range to it, and it will probably
Richter
be a
is
very
an
good
echo
tool.
fighter based on Simon. Though his strength is the same, his look, voice, and animations all set him apart.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's the difference between Simon's red holy water and Richter's blue holy water. It could just be a visual change, but if they do have different attributes, that's cool.
Besides, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version of Simon can perform moves derived.
You can actually see Simon use the down tilt here, but he doesn't do the kick follow-up. So that means that it will be... Yeah, and Richter does the kick follow-up there.
I hope you'll enjoy them both.
And the cross launches vertically, it seems. So it can be used as a follow-up into forward air, like was just shown.
I'd like to introduce two.
Okay, well, that's probably going to be it for Simon and Richter. And now I'm going to move on to K-Rool. Now, a lot less was shown about K-Rool, so he's going to be harder to infer detail about. Yes, here we've got the... Yes, so this is interesting. His neutral special fires this cannonball, but then it seems to have a suction effect to it, and then he can fire a character that he sucked out of it. So it's sort of like a projectile and a command grab in the same move, which is pretty strange, and I'd like to see what kind of applications this would have. I'm not sure if you need to do the suction, or if it's a matter of pressing a button again. Also, we can see King K. Rool has his pirate costume on. I'm not sure if this is just an alternate costume or actually part of his moveset, or maybe if it just happens when he uses this move. But it's a nice touch, I guess. And here, he's using his dash attack, which has super armor, which is very good for a dash attack, and that appeared to be a taunt. Yeah? Here's his up special, this helicopter. This appears to be the best recovery that a heavyweight has ever gotten in Smash, which is honestly pretty good. And here we can see him use his down throw, I think. It's most likely a down throw. Or maybe it's an up throw. Well, it's one of the two. And this is just for fun, but we can see his dashing speed is alright. I guess it's about Bowser's. Now we can see that he, compared to DDD, he's actually taller than DDD. So he'll probably have a pretty large hurt box. Probably not as big as Ridley's, but probably pretty big. As for his weight, I think that he will be lighter than Bowser, but not by much. He's probably going to be the second heaviest character in the game, so heavier than Donkey Kong, definitely. So Bowser will still be number 1, King K. Rool will be number 2, and Donkey Kong will be number 3. And here we can see that he actually has a counter where he absorbs an attack on his belly and counters it. I assume that will be his down special. Now, I've seen a few people throwing around the idea that just his chest area, the gold plating, has armor all round, and he takes less damage when getting hit there. But I think that would be pretty unbalanced, since as long as King K. Rool is facing the opponent, they're probably going to hit the chest. Yeah. And here we can see another one of his taunts where he laughs. And this appears to be his forward tilt, where he grabs a boxing glove and punches them. Seems like it might have an alright amount of kill power, since he did use it on Bowser, who is the current heaviest character in the game, and he got sent flying a certain distance away, but the damage percentages aren't shown, so we have no idea, really. And he appears to be very angry when he is footstooled. That's a nice touch, I guess. Now, here's his side B. It tosses his crown like a boomerang, which comes back, and he puts it back on. So, I'm not sure how good that will be. Not sure if he can act while it's happening, or if it's, or anything like that. But here's his final smash. It's from Donkey Kong 64. And here we get a nice CG cutscene of them punching. And the final thing that's shown in the trailer is he uses some kind of attack. I think it's his down smash, and it buries the opponent. And that appears to be pretty fast for a down smash, really, and pretty fast for a bury in general. So that could be a very good tool if you can actually land it. But since it could probably follow up into another move. But it seems, and then that appears to be a taunt. Or maybe the actual attack is a taunt. Either he uses the attack and then taunts, or he actually is the third character to get a damage taunt, and probably the most useful damage taunt yet. Since Greninja's was very bad, honestly, and Luigi's had situational use. Only really being able to be used for edge guarding and being really difficult to land. But as we can see here, his taunt has finished, and Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are still buried. We don't know if they'll be able to mash out of it before it ends, if it is a damage taunt, but it still could probably be used for follow-ups, especially in casual matches, I guess. Well, I'm not sure if it is a taunt or if it is a down smash, but it's one of the two. Now, moving on to his 30-second video, 25-second video. This has a little bit of information. We can see his walking speed. Okay, so that confirms what I just said, since he's using that same taunt that he used after burying them. So that means that his bury attack is clearly a down smash. And it could be used as a follow-up into a kill move. Meaning that... Yeah, and here we see him in his pirate outfit again, firing the cannonball. But here we can actually see him suck up the cannonball again, and then fire it out again. And it appears that we haven't... I can't remember if he hit the cannonball in the original, in the other video, but... Also, King DDD seems to have reflected the cannonball in some way, or maybe he used the suction mechanic to, which made the cannonball turn around. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But it appears that sucking up an item and then firing it out is much more powerful than just the cannonball by itself. So this could have some interesting application. I'm not sure what it would be used for. He seems like such a weird character, a goofy character. And here we can see his forward air, which looks pretty nice. Not sure how much ending lag it has. He appears to have recovered by now, and then he uses his up B to get back on stage. We don't know how far that up B is going, but it already looks better than every other heavyweight's recovery, which is really, really good. So we can see that Diddy jumps over the crown, but then the villager pockets it, and King K. Rool is now crownless. So does that mean that he goes the rest of the match without having a crown, or does his crown respawn? Or what would happen if an opponent attacked the crown? Would the crown be removed? Guess we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know how good that move will be, but it might end up that King K. Rool relies on his crown for setups, and if he loses his crown, then he gets put at a disadvantage. But I'm just speculating. And here we can see his final smash again. Pretty nice final smash, actually. I have some fond memories of playing Donkey Kong 64. I think that King K. Rool is going to be the highest tiered heavyweight. He seems to have better tools than characters like Bowser, Donkey Kong, Ganondorf. Ganondorf seems to have been buffed in this game, and Bowser got a bit of a buff too, well, sort of. Donkey Kong I'm not quite sure on yet. But King K. Rool definitely appears like he'll be a pretty solid character. Probably not top tier, but I will be surprised if he isn't at least a mid tier or higher. Possibly top 20, top 30, top 30 at minimum. He will probably, he seems to have a good amount of kill power. He has a counter. He has 2 projectiles, one of which seems to have a good amount of killing power, and the other one seems good for combos and setups. He has a really good recovery, and he has armor on his dash attack, on possibly other attacks besides, and his forward air appears to be good for kills. Other than that, there's not really anything else to go on. Simon has a bit of a clearer picture on what he's going to be. King K. Rool is a bit more obscure, though. But I think that both will be good characters. Even though I said in my reaction video that I'm not really that much of a fan of King K. Rool, I still think he'll be fun to use, to play as, to beat up some friends with, and he might see some use in tournaments, in serious matches. Well, there's not really much else to say here, so I'm just gonna end the video here, I guess. So, see you later, I guess.